Hello, I just wanted to talk to you quickly about work experience. This really is for those families that have yet to find a placement and put it through Unifrog. My apology that some of the information that has been given through a parents' evening and through some other communication, but also explained to the child, hasn't quite got through. But I don't want you to worry, there is still time to find a placement. The week itself, as you can see on the screen, is from Monday the 1st of July to the 5th of July. The purpose of work experience, and in some respects why we've changed it to the experience of work week, is it just gives a flavour of life beyond school. So if you do not find something that you would like to do in a particular industry that you're thinking of going on to in the future, that's okay, because this is about being outside of school and beginning to learn skills that are needed in the world of work, and just find out what it's like to work with adults and other people developing those skills alongside maturity for the future. So that's the purpose. So please don't feel that your child needs to have something that they're really interested in going into in the future. It's less in some respects about that. It's more about the wider and the bigger picture at this current age. So what does the week look like itself? Lots of research says that elongated work experience weeks for a week, let alone 2 weeks, which some schools have done in the past, is just for the employer, but also for the child. So we've developed a plan which is seen as I've got to be honest, one of the best work experience weeks in the area. In that, we have Monday, which is on the 1st of July, where they'll be in school, and they have 4 external sessions, workshops, with people coming in to lead on employability skills, on smashing your CV, interview, and making the most of work experience. So they won't be in for period 1 and they can leave before period 6. And it's just a different atmosphere at school. It's a fantastic day. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they are out on a work placement. There are some children that we're going to take to the college to do some college taster sessions, and we'll be in touch about that very shortly. One of those days, which is Tuesday, is to Brinsbury, and the second day is to Chichester College, which will be the Thursday, with a piece of virtual work experience on the Wednesday to be completed. The majority of children will be going out on their placement. And then on Friday, we're going to be back into school, and each child in their tutor group will be given a time to be into school, and they will be given a live mock interview for a good 45 minutes to an hour. And we invite 15, 20 people from the local community, local businesses that come in, give up their time and interview them. And it's superb. So across the week, there are all sorts of things, just trying to get the child to think about those next steps and what they might want to go and do. So with regards to finding a placement, I've tried to break this down into 3 simple steps, and it is easy. I think the hardest bit of all is this first one, which is to find a work experience placement. I'm sorry, but the school doesn't have a very big black book of contacts. I think we've got about 35 places, 40 places, and if your child is really struggling, they're more than welcome to come and look at what we've got, but not in a particularly wide variety of experiences or work placements. So we really do ask that the responsibility sits with parents and themselves to find a workplace, and that can be by going into work environments and asking. It can be picking up the phone. It can be speaking to family, friends, anybody that you might be connected to that might be able to help for those 3 days. And if you are at an absolute loss, then do come and speak to me, and I'll have a look what's left still in our contact list. And as I said earlier, please, I'd like to stress it again, it doesn't have to be in the area that you are absolutely interested in. We've got people that have done in the past in the hotel industry, in some of the local hotels, in the catteries locally, all sorts of places that they're not looking to go into later on in life, but they still take enjoyment from that experience and they learn plenty of things. So the second thing, you've got to complete a simple form to make the legalities work for this. And that form involves yourself as parents, the employer, but also obviously the school, because the school has to look at the risk assessments that are in place and various other legalities to make sure that that is right and proper for the child, because they're under the age of 16, to go and be part of that company. And that simple form, and I'll show you in a second, sits on their Unifrog account. So every child has their Unifrog account that's in their name. If you haven't seen it, it is a fantastic website that is very personalised to them. And the box that you're looking for there is called the placement box. And the information needs to be accurate because the process is automated. So by that I mean, when you put into placements, as you'll see in a second, the name of the company, the name of the contact, the email address, and all of the other bits that go with that, it's only a 3-minute form to fill out. But as soon as you've pressed send and all of that is correct and accurate, it will send it forward through to the employer. And then the employer completes a lot more information with regards to what the job will entail, the starting hours, and what they need to wear, what their lunchtime will be like, as well as all of the risk element associated to it. And once they've completed, it will be forwarded on to you by the system. So it's automated. So it will come to you and you have to look through the information that's been put there by the employer and say, yes, I'm happy with my child going here from the information that I can see. And then the last step, it comes through to us as a school, and we then look at that information and say, yes, we're happy as a school to be able to agree that placement. And then the placement is good to go. So we have had placements that have gone through in a matter of days. As long as those steps are taken, there's no worry about that. So please, time is on one side here. The hard part, if I'm being honest, is trying to find that placement. So I'm going to show you the Unifrog account in a second. And the third step is just to enjoy your placement. And during your placement, there will be staff from school that will be contacting the employer and your child, and just sort of, completing an element of the Unifrog just to give feedback to how that went for them and future reference. They'll also be given a work booklet while they're a work experience booklet to complete, which will be handed on the Friday during the mock interview day. Some employers would prefer the children to go for 5 days, and we recognise and understand that. So if that is the case and they're quite adamant that they'll only accept the child on 5 days, that's okay from a school perspective. We've not got a concern about that, but they will miss out obviously then on the mock interview, in particular on the Friday. But that's a choice that you as a parent make, and just inform the school that they're going to be out for those 5 days. So Unifrog, what does Unifrog look like? Well, here is the Unifrog account, and you'll notice that I've logged in here. So if you're on the login screen and your child can't remember their password, there is a link that says reset my password. You click that. It's linked to their school email account, so that's where they have to put their email address, and then they have to go to their email address to click the link in the email that's come to change their password. So pretty standard, but is forgotten. And their homepage will look like this as follows. Now, if you just scroll down that home page, you'll see that there's all sorts of these colourful boxes. You'll probably have this ages 14 to 16 one. They can do these boxes at any time, and there's things in the background. So pass the quizzes into exploring pathways. And right down at the bottom, you'll see the grey box that says placements. And you click the Go to Tool button. And then you'll notice that it says Add New Placements. Now, mine's got in front of us 1 placement added so far. And you can see once you've added a placement that it begins to tell you which stage that is at. So at the moment in time, this is stage number 3. So if I click place, add new placement, the blue button, if I click that link there, it's now going to ask me for some simple stuff. So you are doing an in-person, you're not doing a virtual. Don't worry about the T level. It's not part of a T level. That's post-16 study, so it's not part of a T level. And then I will be your placement coordinator. It could be Mrs. Moon as well. Then you need to put the specifics in here, please. So the name of the business, obviously the start date, the end date. It is going to be full-time, I imagine, for yourself, for your child. And then what are your objectives? What are you trying to achieve? And it just says 25 minimum words, please, there. Then a bit further around, it asks employer lead name. So that's a suggestion, Tim Cook. It needs to be completed, that as well as their email. And you need to repeat the email so that the email is seen to be correct. Please make sure that is the correct email, because they won't then get the email. And just a heads up, really, on Unifrog, sometimes these emails go through to the junk box. So if you haven't heard from the employer about where they are in that process, or they haven't completed the form, or I haven't signed it off and you haven't seen it come through the system, it could be because it's sitting in the junk file of the employer waiting to be completed. Placement country, address, and so on. Yes, I imagine this will be yes. So what this is asking is the placement going to be just in that one place, or is it going to be in different locations? So you could place that. Are you living at home? I imagine the vast majority of you will be yes. We have had people before go to Germany and do work experience, or up into Manchester or London, and that's absolutely fine. There has to be obviously somebody, an adult with them that can obviously be in the accommodation that they stay in and help with the transportation from one place to another. But if that's what's on your mind, that's no problem at all. How are you travelling there and back? Date of birth for the child. Medical bits of information, and then it's your stuff. So parent guardian emails, please, again doubled up, who the contact is, and then lastly just a couple of tick boxes there saying yes, I agree to all the 4 points. And once you've done that, you say form is finished and you add placement. If there isn't anything quite right on that form, it will come back as red, saying please can you amend these things. Other than that, if it goes through, then you're through into stage 2. And really, that's all you've got to do, other than as a parent, then look back when you get your email that says that the employer has completed their bit. And as I said, it can take just a few days to go through. So if you spend a couple of weeks now just trying to find that placement, trying to speak to the people that you know, I've got no doubt at all that your child will have a fantastic work experience. Any questions, do please email, and I will try and answer those specific questions. But I hope that this is helpful for you. So Unifrog under the placements bar that you can see just down the bottom under exploring pathways, that there is your route to being able to secure your work placement.